So I haven't posted videos in a couple years. It's actually been quite a bit going on in our lives, and the farm has unfortunately kind of not fell into neglect and by the wayside, but just kind of secondary to these major events. So it all kind of started in 2019. My dad passed away in March, unfortunately, and my mom followed suit a month later in April. That was a couple of really big hits right there. And then I lost a good friend in October. And then my father-in-law ended up passing in November. So yeah, 2019 wasn't really a good year. And then in 2020, in June of 2020, we actually lost kind of an unseen but big figure on the farm. My best friend and virtually my brother, Jesse, passed away. Very, very huge figure on the farm in terms of getting a lot of the muscle stuff done. And, he's been missed. So kind of the end of last season especially, just didn't really have time to really concentrate on making a lot of videos, and didn't really have a lot to say. I just didn't want to kind of get into it. And so of course I made a couple of videos, but I didn't actually post them, and I probably won't. So that's kind of explains our absence. Once you'll enjoy a little more tilling here and some more music, and then get into the tilling part. This garden here is 100 feet by 100 feet, roughly. Probably a little bit more than that, but I call it 100 by 100. As you can see, my strategy for this garden kind of involves just making a big path around the periphery, and I make lateral passes, kind of parallel passes that are offset, so I don't have to try to stop and back up so much or try to make really tight turns. You can make, generally speaking, you can make broader turns with the tiller, and you're not going to really have too many problems with the side force on the 3-point. Not a very good job, but to be honest, the ground's still a little wet, and this is really just a preliminary pass anyway. This is just to kill off any of the weeds that have started up already, and of course all the leftover plant material from last year. You want to kind of till that under, and the sooner it's under, the sooner that can start to decompose. We haven't added any of the compost yet, and this will get tilled 2 or 3 times as part of that process. So spread some compost, and then this will get tilled. I'll get it tilled in, and then I'll typically give it one more good final till about mid-May, when all the good planting starts up. Haven't totally decided on crops for this year, in this garden anyway. I have to try to keep in mind what I can do, what my wife can handle, and as I said, not having Jesse to be able to help with some of the hand tiller work or some of the hand weeding certainly going to make a difference in what I select. I think we're definitely going to go with tomatoes again and cucumbers. I gotta have my pickles, man. Gotta have my pickles. Gotta have my tomato sauce too, but it's another story. Probably a few plants at least of squashes, summer squash, winter squash, acorn squash. Usually do 300-foot rows of green beans, the Blue Lake bush. Those seem to always do very well no matter what. And that yields us enough to get through to the next summer and some for the needs of our family. Plus we have a few we can sell on the side. And, maybe some potatoes, not really sure. So I'm going to sit down and kind of make that plan, and we'll go from there. And the other gardens, still haven't really decided what's going in any of those either. I'm all kinds of on the ball this year, but we'll get there. We always do. Back to some more tilling and music. some of the equipment. So I get a lot of questions on that, or I have in the past anyway. So the tractor itself is a 2005 Kubota BX 2230. As you can see, I've swapped out the bucket setup for, instead of pin-on mount, like we do have the skid steer quick attach. The front tires are hard filled with the like a rubber substance, so those are pretty heavy. I've got 50-pound weights on the back wheels, and those are also filled. So the tractor itself is pretty stable. As you can see, I still haven't finished painting the cab that I've kind of been building for the past 2 years, but maybe this summer I'll finally get that all done. There's some other pieces I gotta cut and weld in too. But it's definitely been nice to have a cabin dealing with the winters here in New England. And of course, with all the lights on there, definitely increases visibility. I do have it is heated. There's a heater in there. It's got a coolant that runs through it and puts out pretty well. I can get it 80 degrees in the cab when it's 15 degrees out, so I'd say it's pretty adequate. One of my prior videos, you can see all the lighting package I've put on the tractor. And you can guess from the antenna that there is a two-way radio in there. It actually does FM as well, FM broadcast. It's 2-meter ham and 440 ham. And that's been, I'm surprised how much I actually use that sometimes. When I don't have everything revved to the max and, you know, working it hard, when it's a little quieter in the cab, I will sit there and have QSOs on the radio. The tiller itself is nothing special. Cheap Chinese-made tiller. I know. It's not a king cutter. I actually do have a 60-inch king cutter, but for most of what we do here, I do like the 48. And so far, it's actually held up pretty well. That's a 2015, and that's been pretty solid so far. Overall, I've invested a lot in some new camera gear finally. I thought it was time to kind of upgrade my video equipment. So you'll get to see a lot of that. You know, I've had this software for a long time that had the capability. I just didn't have the video equipment to kind of tie it all together. I got a wireless mic that I'm kind of experimenting with, which is probably why you can hear me babbling in the background. Yeah, that was, I gotta figure out a better microphone for that because it's picking up too much background. Which is why this is all being voiced over in the first place. I also got a drone, so I'm hoping to do some drone shots coming up. So that should be pretty neat too. With that, we'll see you on the next video. Deal. That's all, folks.